right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Sledder Cast podcast. It's a doggone beautiful morning today.
Look at this today.
And this is actually the first time these arms have been out of sleeve.
We call that, those are guns, and you need a license.
Hey, I appreciate that. Okay. But no, it's been kind of hit and miss today. Or this weekend here at Heydays, and this is just a gorgeous day, and so we're so happy to have Duncan Lee again as a co-host. He's been on a couple others here at Heydays. Then we got Kevin Forsyth here from C3 Yeti, Recoil. We're going to get into a lot of fun, good conversation. Personally, like you guys know, I'm pretty selfish with some of the guests we bring on, just because out of my own curiosity, I want to learn more about brands and you know the situations and decisions, you know, hard decisions that they have to make and how they grow. And so your story is specifically with Yeti intrigued me, because starting it, selling it, buying it back, like that doesn't happen very often, you know. So
yeah, it's definitely been quite the journey. It all started basically with my current partner, Jamie Hodgson. He came to me just with an idea. It's like, hey, he wanted to buy a Timbersled titanium kit, which Alan had built a few for some friends and his brother and stuff like that. And they wouldn't sell him one. They wouldn't build him another one. So he came to me, and I'd been selling some carbon fiber parts. I'd been making the XP chassis and selling those for a couple of years, and I'd got to know his brother really well, and his brother just kept bugging him. Was, hey, go see Kevin, man. He can build something cool or something. I'd never ridden a snow bike, knew nothing about them. He drove down with a trailer full of them, and we went up and tried to ride, and it was in May, I think, end of May, and we ended up some wrong road, stuck in a creek, and with a tiny bit of snow, we unloaded the bikes, turned the trailer around in the creek, unhooked the trailer, turned it around in the creek, rode across 100 feet of snow, and came out on this big cut block, big like highway logging road with not a stitch of snow inside. And it's like, okay, well, that was fun.
There we go.
Loaded back up, spent the rest of the day trying to see if we could get around and find snow, and then that's where it all started. And we went home from there and made the plan and
went to the drawing board.
Yeah, went to the drawing board. Said, so you think you can build one of these? And I was like, well, from the ride I just had and what we've did, I'll give it my best shot. And he cut me a big check and said, okay, I want 9 of them.
Wow. So maybe I missed this, Kevin, and I apologize if I did. Can we say you're the brains behind like that kit, the Yeti kit?
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
So, yeah, between Jamie and I, he'd come up with these harebrained ideas. I had some of my own, and mine were more grounded, and he'd come up with these harebrained ideas, and I'd have to figure out, 1, how to make it simple, that we could actually make it, and 2, make it so we could actually sell it and make money doing it. So we had a lot of fun doing that for the first 3 years of design, and I was, pie in the sky, Jamie and me trying to figure out how to make it work, and we did it. We came up with a kit. So that was in May.
May of
what year?
Let's get some years here, because we're going to be progressing along here to current day.
Yeah, so that was May of 2013.
Okay.
So in October, we went to this Edmonton sled show.
Yep.
With a kit that I'd hand built, kind of drew it all out, hand built it, built molds for it because it was carbon at that time still, the very first one, and then like built this kit that some people at the show called it fugly, but anyways, we just put it there, and he was a GM dealer, so he had a big GM booth up there and stuff. So we just like dropped it in this GM booth. Kind of no signs on it, nothing.
Underground.
Yeah, just dropped it there and just kind of seen what the feedback was on the internet and stuff like that, and got some good feedback. But it was a super light kit. It actually worked really well. We only rode them a couple times. I sold 2 of them that we took them back from the customers, and once we built the today's Yeti, then we just we replaced them for them and stuff like that. But that was kind of the start.
That's an amazing start.
Yeah, that's cool. What was the response at that show with that kit where like there's no
Fugly,
sign?
man. Did you hear that?
Well, I did, but like it's just sneaking around. I'm sure there were people like, "What is this? What's going on?"
Yeah. So like lots of people, there's like, who built this? What, what's going on? And he just had some salesman in the booth. So they didn't know anything about it. So they couldn't
Truck
even
salesman.
Couldn't even tell a story. It's like, I don't know. It's the owners
This just showed
or
up
something
today.
like that.
We don't even know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Tractor part.
So it was kind of cool because it just started, some rumors flying and this and that, and we just had fun with it. And
that's cool.
But so to the question, it was just. Really different kind of plain looking. And I just tried to use some geometry to make it really light, which worked well, but it just didn't lend to what people are used to for looks of stuff. And at that point, there was only Timbersled out with kits and stuff, and it was totally different looking, and it was carbon fiber. So everybody's right away, that's no good right away from the beginning. And we've still been dealing with that to this day. So,
yeah. So that's 2013, kind of when things got off the ground.
Yeah.
So was Yeti kind of the precursor to C3, or what's the kind of how did that all play out?
So in 2006, I started looking at building a lightweight snowmobile, which started from kind of this idea of, hey, could we build a electrified snowmobile? And it's like start adding up the weight of the batteries and all this stuff, and it's like, well, with today's technology, no. But hey, let's start out by taking a bunch of weight out of the sled. So at that point, I owned a composite company, and so I had an M7. We just tore it apart and built a mold off of it and built one of these chassis. And then that's how I kind of got tied in with Jamie, because his brother was heading to the mountains with a bunch of his friends, and he opens up a Snow Tech magazine, and there's a little ad, like a 1 inch by 1 inch square ad there for like a carbon fire M7, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna buy one of those, and so I met his brother and built him the very first one of those, and then he built some crazy 1200 Cutler triple in that thing. and just could like go over to the top of every mountain, and all his buddies were sitting down at the bottom. So then he got together with all his buddies, and they decided they just bought the XPs. That was the year the XPs came out. And so they all bought XPs, and so I started building chassis for those. Got in, so that is what I built C3 Powersports around.
Okay.
He wanted.
And that was in 2006.
That would have been probably 2008 once we finally did the XP.
Okay.
And then he was trying to find a belt drive for it. Some guy was supposed to build it. I talked to the guy for like 6 months, and he never did anything. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
So that's kind of what started C3 Powersports, was the belt drives. I ended up doing them for all the sleds, and then building the carbon fiber parts and chassis and hoods and all that stuff. And that's what got me to know his brother well, and then that's what got Jamie come talk to me about snowbikes. Yeah.
All right, so we're fast forwarding a little bit. We're 2013, 2014. Yeti is coming to life. How were like those early days? Like, you guys did you look at C3 as kind of like the mothership of that?
Yeah.
And then kind of like you got these little sister companies popping off? Or?
Yeah, not at that point.
Not at that point.
It was just like really raw, and it was like, then it was sort of just a project for somebody else. And, after I did this initial concept and we took it, we rode them a few times, we doubled them out a couple times, and we had all our usual errors that everyone would have. We decided, it works. And Jamie comes from car racing, drag racing, and he's all about lightweight, the best, titanium, everything like this and that. And he's seen promise in it, and it's like he wanted to have the best snowbike kit he could have. He'd just gotten into it, but he always everything's always overboard, and so he'd seen promise in it, and it's like we decided to partner up. So by I guess it was October of 2014, we just formed a partnership and then started C3 Powersports as a kind of its own limited company. And I sold off all the belt drive stuff, and that got out all that, and just focused primarily 100% on snow bikes.
So you developed, your partnership was C3, but then did you also develop a partnership for Yeti, and that was an actual business?
Yeah, so we just decided to split them. I sold kind of what I did for C3, like the belt drives and stuff. I just sold that off, and then we could just go focus on Yeti.
As a brand.
Yeah, as a brand.
What type of lead up when you decided to go, okay, we're going to do this Yeti brand, we're making Snowbike kits. What type of process or how fast did you come up with a logo and a direction and like, we're going to market this way?
Yeah, it happened pretty fast. Like, so after that first year, once we just decided we were going to do it, I don't know how. I think it was actually, I think my daughter tells me it was like her idea or something like that. But she kind of like came up with the idea of Yeti, and then it's like, yeah, I like that, and started working on that. We worked with actually a designer from Troy Lee that did a lot of their design work, has his own design studio in California, and he helped us with the logo and the branding and stuff at the beginning. He came up with kind of what we have now for the logo. And then just kind of rolled with it. We knew that was going to be it, and we just, put our head down. I ended up designing three complete kind of builds of what we have now in basically 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was pretty big.
What are all of the, like today, what are all of the brands that you guys have under this umbrella right now?
Yeah, so after we sold Yeti, kind of gave us free time on our hands. Is like, okay, what are we going to do next? And while we had Yeti, we just started working on some aftermarket bike products, snow bike products. And as you all know, to make a dirt bike that's meant for, warmer weather, function well in cold weather and snow, it needs certain products. So we'd started working on a few of those while we were at Yeti. And then, seeing, okay, now we got to finish this list. And so then that's what exploded C3. So C3 now became Snowbike brand, kind of, we're trying to grow it into the #1 brand and just have, best value, really good products, good quality. And then, as we got big into Snowbike and started building that, and we started having lots of bikes around our shop all the time and riding all the time, it's like, okay, well, we're sick and tired of loading these on decks and up ramps and stuff like that. And there's a guy that was building one of these little kind of winch operated kind of things, a little bit kind of archaic and all steel and stuff like that. But it kind of, he had the concept. So we bought one of those, and Jamie bought one, put on our shop truck, and started using that. And after 4 years of kind of making it better and tweaking it and adding things and taking things away, we ended up as like, you know what, we got to build these. Like, everyone needs to enjoy what we enjoy every day, of like loading at the end of the day, tired loading, moving furniture and stuff. So we started the brand Recoil, which is a deck company. And it's not just for recreation, but it's great for recreation. The big thing is it's great for work, and you can do all your work stuff no matter what trade you're in. Then you drop that in the garage and you pick up the deck with your toys on it, and you're off to the mountains, right? And there's no setup time and all that stuff. So that's the big one now that we're focusing a lot of time into, as well as the other.
So at that time, you guys took an existing winch deck that just slides off, and you went to the chop shop and you cut it up and turned it into, because can you explain what the Recoil actually is? Like, there's an arm that actually lifts it off and puts it on the ground, right?
Yeah, so there's not an arm, but
Okay.
like you say, we started with kind of just a winch deck. There was slope built into it. It kind of rolled off fairly easily, and it used a little bit of springs just to start it, kind of thing. But yeah, we just kept working with it. There's a lot of things that just didn't do well, and we just kind of kept coming up with solutions to those. And then after we'd done that, I was like, okay, now I have the picture of how this could look as a finished product. But what it does is it uses one winch. Winch is at the front. Winch basically just pulls the deck on. That's all it does. When you hit the out button on the winch, there's a recoil system. It's just like, recoil pull on your sled. You pull it, it pulls itself back, right? So that's all we're doing is we're loading a spring by the winch is pulling that spring in. It picks it up on the kind of way in as it loads in, pulls it in, creates the tension, and that's what pulls it back off.
That's pretty slick.
Yeah, so we have a patent pending on that, and that becomes our technology that we're kind of building around and stuff, and we see lots of future applications for it.
I thought it was just a cool name, Recoil, but it actually has
it is
a
a cool
lot.
name.
What is cool name, but a lot of function around that name.
There is. It's all like based around that, and
that's cool.
And that's kind of same with Yeti, right? And it's just like I have this. I got a couple other cool names for future businesses. We'll see if we ever get there or not.
Keep those in your
Yeah.
pocket.
That's cool. We'll overlay some video because you've done a couple cool videos that I watched of just watching that thing kind of self deploy and come back on, pull back onto the truck bed. So
I seen a real cool one this morning from X Games last year.
Oh.
When we were there, there was a nice short that someone did up, or our team,
nice.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't get on there much, but that's a really nice produced little.
Do you guys have dealers for that deck?
So the deck is just starting. Yeah. So we have one here in Minnesota. It's Red River Triumph up in Hawley. And around, that's the closest one around this area, and then we got one in Utah, big boy, and just setting new dealers up all the time. We kind of take care of Canada, BC, Alberta right now, and yeah.
How many decks a season or a year, I guess, are you pumping out?
We at Heydays last year was we put the first 2 decks together. One we brought down to sell to the dealer here. The other one was on our truck. We installed it on the way down, and then he showed up here.
Pure Heydays fashion.
Yeah, exactly. So it was perfect. So that was ground zero here last year, and now we've sold 50 decks.
Oh.
We had a really good show here. Sold quite a few more of the show. So
nice.
Yeah. It's just and so we've spent this kind of last year of we've built all these decks, but we've actually made tons of changes. Like every production we would change a ton of things. Our fabricators and stuff are getting kind of pissed at us because it's like, can we just make the same thing for a little bit? And it's like, no, we're going to keep changing it till it's right. So
you want it better.
Yeah. So now I think we got it locked down, and we're kind of ready to kind of really ramp it up now. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Heydays is a great place to do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's an amazing event, and just the people here and stuff like this it's awesome.
Yeah.
We're grateful for it and being able to kind of make these connections.
Cool. So that was kind of an overview of kind of the different product lines you guys got into throughout the last 12, 13 years, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to take everyone back in time now to Yeti time.
Yep.
And you guys ran Yeti for how many years before the sale?
Yeah, so it was only 3 years from inception to sale. So we sold in August of 2017.
Okay.
And we'd only been selling for a year. So 2016 was our first kit. And so we started that in fall of 2015. Sold about half the kits that we built, and then decided, there's a few things we need to have better. And so we actually built enough parts to build 500 kits, and then ended up kind of upgrading all those and calling them a 16 and a half, and then sold the 17 kit. And, we were into Snow Check. We'd sold, 350 kits in Snow Check in 2017. But then Camso took that over, and who now became Michelin. But they took that over from us, and at that point.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the question I think everyone has is what led you to selling Yeti?
Yeah, so my partner Jamie's basically worked his whole life kind of in one car dealership within kind of the family's kind of structure that they had, and they had quite a few businesses. But he worked one dealership, built it up, done a great job at it. They sold it. He basically used his savings, his profit from that 20 years of work, and put that all into Yeti. Camso had approached us actually just when we started and tried buying us, and we're just like, well, we haven't done anything, and they wanted to pay on EBITDA, and you haven't sold anything, so where's the EBITDA in that? So we said no, and then they kept bugging us, and at this point, they approached us again, and they were willing to pay a little bit more, but they were willing to pay enough that kind of paid Jamie off, and he's seen it as we were gonna have to work another 3 or 4 years at least to get out of debt from starting up the company. And I understand he kind of works his whole life for this money, and then someone wants to buy it, and no more risk and stuff, so it kind of made sense. And he knew at the time, I loved it. I didn't want, we were just getting started, and I didn't want to sell it. I had 5-6 more years of ideas, and, and I just only learned about snowbiking and never ridden one. And, I was just starting to learn it. It's like, okay, I'm ready now. Like now I've actually learned what we should have designed, not just design what seemed to make sense. Right. But totally understand, supported him on that. And it, led to where we are now. So I don't regret it at all.
Hey guys and gals, if you love the show and want to support us, head on over to deviantinc.com. Use the code SledderCast, save some money on your next premium custom wrap. If you've spent any time on deviantinc.com, you already know it is the best, easiest custom wrap builder tool out there. With its new interactive design tools, makes designing and customizing wraps super slick. We're big fans of the new color mixer tool. It randomizes colors until you land on the perfect combo. A design mixer tool is a game changer when you already know what colors you want and you want to see all of our designs in just your pre-selected colors. So head on over to deviantinc.com, use the code SledderCast, save some money on your next wrap purchase. Let's get back to the show. Yeah, so Camzo had it for, well, that was 7 years?
17 to 23. We basically bought it back in August of 23.
So you're sitting here on the sidelines watching your baby.
Yeah.
Baby just got like sent off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sent off.
Yeah.
Real,
You ever
real
seen the
world
movie
experience.
Willow?
Yeah.
Like Willow?
Willow.
You remember Willow? Like they said, put the baby in the river and
Yeah, in the basket. See
Yeah.
ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
What are you thinking during this time? Like
Yeah,
how are you? Did you have any skin in the game after, or were you fully bought out?
Yeah, so it kind of seemed like I would in the beginning. We went and helped with implementation and getting them kind of moved over. But they kind of had their own mindset and really wanted to use their own people and really quickly transitioned out of that, which was fine. Right away we started C3, and so my mind was busy,
You're
and
all over
we're
there,
designing lots of new parts, so that was all good. But it was sad to see like some of the things they did. You'd hope they'd done a little bit more, but they did a really good job at reliability. We'd had a few reliability issues with some titanium, just not good welding and stuff, and we've learned since then. But instead of embracing that and try to improve those products, they went right to like heavy steel and different things, and they just kept adding weight. But they did add reliability, and that's one thing I was grateful when we got it back, is we got back a kit that at least was reliable. we didn't have to worry about that. We could start with that as kind of our cornerstone and build from it. So
Did you, while they owned it, did you have any moments where you just were absolute cringing on what they were designing or changing?
No, not full on cringe. It's just disappointment, I guess.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, why would you do that or this or that? But they had some good things and they did well for their kind of market. But I think they also seen the writing on the wall and just it was, again, like the OEMs, and probably the same as Polaris. It's like an OEM running something that's so small and niche is hard, and to make money at is hard, even if you're not that. But I think us, the kind of the private guys, are a little bit better because we can flex quicker and change and stuff like that. So there's more opportunity in it for us than them.
Okay, so you're sitting here watching this. Was there, as you look back during those 6 years, was there ever a time or a moment or a decision that you can specifically remember as like, no, why'd you do that?
Nah.
Why'd you do that to my baby?
Yeah, definitely. As like, I was more like, why aren't you doing something else? Like, why aren't you doing something new?
Like progression on
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Let's like pushing it a little bit more. Like I said, I had years of ideas, kind of still, or I just started to formulate those years of ideas, and it would have been nice to see them push it or even help, let me help with them or something. Like anything for free, I would have did it probably.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of more of that. Probably the biggest thing is when they said they're shutting down. Like that was just like, oh man, like why are you guys shutting down? Like
It's got to hurt to watch.
Why don't you try to sell it? Why didn't you call us or something like that, right? Instead of just, no, we're done and shutting her down. So that was probably the biggest thing. But I'm pretty laid back and kind of just believe in kind of someone else guiding their path, and totally happy with kind of C3 and where we're going with that. And we'd actually been working on, or just started a year before on the Recoil deck. So, kind of had that, and we did 3 years of prototyping on it, that we'd built like 5 decks over 3 years, and each one, just lots of new stuff into each one. So there's a lot of stuff going on there.
So you were busy. Your mind was thinking. You weren't super caught up in what are they going to do with this.
No.
You were like, this is cool and
Yeah,
I'm
it's just-
good. And
yeah.
geez, I'm busy with these other projects.
Yeah, I'm good enough. I got to the point as I bought it every year. I was buying a different kit. I bought a Timbersled, rode our Yetis out kind of as far as I could, and then it's like, okay, I'm going to start riding the other stuff and started buying the other kits, and then it's like, oh, now we got Yeti back. You can ride Yetis again, get new Yetis.
Did
one
you
day
see
here.
it coming? When they said they were shutting down, did you have any?
No.
So just boom.
No inclination at all. It's at first they actually wouldn't even let us be a dealer for them because they thought there was too much resistance or it would be too much feedback from other dealers. But eventually we convinced them, as like, look, we know the product the best, we can support it the best. They'd let us. First 1 year, they let us start buying parts to be an aftermarket kind of, warranty or whatever, helping people out with parts and stuff like that. And then the next year, they let us start buying kits. And so we only made it through like two or 3 years of that. We actually could buy kits from them before we got the news. But yeah.
When you had mentioned, I think you mentioned you guys are making around 500 kits a year when you sold.
Yeah.
Is that about?
Yeah. So we only did 2 years. So we planned to make 500 the first year, but we only sold 300 of them.
Gotcha.
We used the leftovers, turned them into a half-year model and gave them some shock upgrades and stuff like that, and created a half-year model. But then we also came out with a new model for the next year. And that year we sold just over 300 plus the other 200 of the year before. So we sold 500 that year. And then again, we were on track to sell over 500 again, because in Snow Check we did like a 350 or something. So.
And do you know what they built it up to?
They stayed at about the same. Building 300 to 400 kits a year.
Okay.
But yeah.
And that just kind of, I'm asking because I'm trying to gauge like how many snow bikers are there?
I do the same thing all the time. And
I bet.
That's a mystery.
It's a mystery. They're elusive.
Yeah. If you're on the Facebook group page, it feels like there's a lot. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, the group on Facebook, the big one, Timbersled,
exactly.
Yeti.
Yeah, so anyways, and again, now, we're friends with Alan, and we use his track on our kit and stuff, the Mountaintop track. So we're really grateful for that cooperation, and it's helped us out a lot. And so and it's good. We're working together to build the sport up, and I'd like to see the sport size like double would be great.
Yeah,
I think we all would.
Yeah. So Yeti's no more.
Yeah.
What was the first? Who called you first? What was the first person you called? Like when did you start scheming?
Yeah, I don't know. I just I guess I'd probably talk to Jamie first.
Yeah.
First thing as soon as we heard, we got the call from their management, and they were nice enough, and I'm grateful for it. They actually called us like half an hour before everybody else. They actually told us first, but I still don't understand the trying to sell it to us first thing. But then I called Jamie as who knows what's going on, and we'd actually started thinking about our own thing, and we're ready to start down our own path again because we hadn't seen anything change, and it was time for this new stuff. We had a non-compete for 5 years, so that had run out, and I was looking at, we would have got back into the game for sure. Mm-hmm. So it kind of wasn't a big deal, and we didn't think about it. It's like, oh, maybe we just keep going and doing our own thing, and started thinking back and forth, and it's like, well, it might not hurt to just have it back, but wasn't too worried about it until they called us then after that and said, do you guys want to buy it? So it was like, oh, all right, well, share some numbers and we'll look at it and we'll think about it, but we still weren't super excited about it. And then a few things kind of fell into place that just kind of made it seem like, you know what, maybe it's not a bad thing to buy back.
So what is that like? What does that kind of feel like to send Willow away?
Yeah.
And then Mad Mortigan come crashing through the castle and saving Willow again. Like where was your headspace when like you're like, oh yeah, let's buy that back, and like how did that like what was your feeling behind that?
Yeah, it's actually I remember kind of getting excited, feeling like the one thing I really liked is we had a patent on the ski, and it was like a we call it below surface mount. So the actual pivot of the ski is like well below the surface of the snow where the ski rides. And obviously we'd sold that patent along with it. And the thoughts of getting that patent back that they never did anything with was actually my most excitement because it's cool. Like, wait till if you guys ever ride the ski, I don't know if we can apply it to sleds or something else in the future, but on snow bikes, it was the most phenomenal thing. And I only rode it a few times before we ran out of time. And it's like, you know what? I don't have time to finish developing it. We need a ski in 3 months. It was July. I was doing my last ride on some prototype skis and stuff. And it's like, I don't have time to finish developing this. We just got to go with whatever everybody else in the industry is doing. We still used our ski, but we mounted it differently and kind of went more traditional with it. And, you know, it still worked really good for a lot of things. And, but that was actually my most excitement, is knowing that now I can finish that ski the way it is. And actually just before I came here, my engineer showed me like the last kind of drawings. He's just ordering the parts for the first prototypes of now this kind of next version of that ski. So
awesome.
Yeah, pretty exciting.
So from when that 30 minutes before they dropped the news, right?
Yeah.
So when it was officially back into your hands, how long was that process?
I believe that was in around March when they actually did it, right around when snow check should have happened. So then till August. So
it took a few months.
And I think they actually didn't approach us till almost a month after.
Oh wow!
After they said no. So
do you know if was there anyone else going after it?
It sounds like they chose to talk to somebody else about it. I don't know who or why.
Yeah.
But but I guess nothing happened with that, so they just decided they're selling it.
Okay.
When you do that change of hands, how much stuff comes with that? Like, and I'm talking hard parts.
Yeah.
Like cleaning out the warehouse, everything the business owns.
And there's a lot. And the funniest part of that, it was stuff that we sent to them.
Yeah.
Came back.
Yeah, you're doing the whole swapperoo.
Stuff I didn't want to sell to them is like, Jamie, they're not going to use this stuff. They don't need it. Well, it was part of our assets, so they're getting it. It's like, they don't even want it. I'm positive they don't want it. No, they're getting it all. It's like toolboxes, all this cool stuff we could have just, had and set up our shop awesome and all these kind of things like that. Even like tracks, some different things that we had as like prototypes and stuff went to them, sat on a shelf somewhere there, and we got it back with an inch of dust on it. Yeah.
Nice.
A lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work.
And
and I don't know if you guys have dealt with any like big companies, but like, at the end, Michelin owned it. First it was Camso when we sold it to them. That was hard enough. And then when Michelin owned it, buying it back is like, it's unbelievable what you can spend on lawyers and accountants and stuff.
Behind the scenes stuff you have to do sounds like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, little companies are better.
Yeah. Call up on the phone, shoot a couple text messages.
Yeah.
Hey, let's make this work.
Shake a hand.
Let's
call
go.
it good.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we're now transitioning into now time.
Yeah.
What's the future look like for Yeti?
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It was kind of scary the first little bit, right? We bought it back. We bought enough parts to build a couple hundred kits probably, and so that's all we could do the first year, right? Is just like, okay, well, who's going to buy last year's kit again, right? And who needs one? So we started out that way. Did fairly well, better than I thought, just selling just the same kit. And then luckily, Mountaintop came on the second year. I don't think we would have sold too many kits that year, but he came on with his track. We were able to sell quite a few kits again and kind of stay in the game, and it gave us the time to get some new stuff developed, which we started on right away. And just barely in time, we kind of came up with this new one suspension that we got in there, which uses one shock. It's the one to kind of do everything. It wheelies. You can adjust it so it's planted. You can have it right halfway in between. You can make it a short kit. You can do everything all in one, and you don't have to buy a different one for this, different one for that. And
So, but make it a shortcut. You mean change the track out?
no, actually, so
suspension travel.
Timbersled had what they called an S kit, which was their short kit. It was 3 inches shorter. So front and rear, they sucked the whole kit down 3 inches.
Okay.
Get it closer to ground, easier to ride and stuff like that. And so this, we were able to build that all right into the whole
That's
kit.
really cool. So it's a pretty much adjustable setup.
Yeah, adjustable setup with the Fox's shock in there. We worked with Fox extensively and quite a few tuning sessions. We were just at Fox before we came to Heydays again, planning next year's stuff and the years after. But yeah, working with them was awesome, and we've come up with something really good. It's the shock is doing a crazy amount of work. Like one shock to do what 2 shocks usually do,
right?
And do it as well as it's doing is unbelievable. Like we're so happy about that. But the air, it's a really regressive kind of falling rate suspension. So we need a real ramping rate shock to kind of make it all work, and the air does that for us. And yeah, we just couldn't be happier the way it turned out. We had a lot of luck in there. We did a lot of changes for things that we thought we could make better, not really knowing what was going to happen, but they all actually just kept working out and just got better and better and better. And yeah,
that's awesome. Fox does a great job with suspension.
Yeah.
I run Fox shocks and Fox socks.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah.
That'll get you.
Yeah, I think
Fox shocks and Fox socks. There you go.
Fox on box
Yeah.
on shocks.
In socks.
And
And
there you
socks.
go.
Yeah. Now, shortly after you guys take it over, Timbersled close the shop.
Yeah, so that was in kind of year 3. It was 2 days before our snow check. As sad as I was to hear that happen, I know a bunch of the guys at Timbersled too, and we've worked with them. They actually became a distributor, or they sold all our C3 product in their P&A or whatever, and through their stores. So it was sad to hear that, but it, it couldn't have been better timing for us.
Right.
So I'm very grateful for it as well. We were at Allen Park actually. We're just there for the industry ride. We'd just done a couple days testing with Fox actually, and we're all just sitting around, kind of sitting there. And Brock was with us, Brock Hoyer, and he gets a text, and then we get a text, and it's
it all went down while you guys were all out there.
And we're just sitting there on the couch, just chilling, right? And
that's an eventful
all of a sudden,
evening.
texts start going around. It's like, do you believe this? Did you know this was happening and stuff? I asked him, Brock. He's like, no, I didn't have a clue. And so yeah, we started kind of getting the stuff going around, and it's just like, wow, like it's just that hit like a ton of bricks. It's like, wow, this is impactful. Like we're just here, we're shooting some video and stuff for Snow Check, and about to announce it in 2 days and stuff like that, and then do the industry ride and everything. So that was like way more exciting than either selling Yeti or sad selling Yeti and getting it back. Like just hearing that news is like, oh, well, what's going to happen now, and what are the possibilities and opportunities and stuff like that. So
yeah, speaking of opportunities, like if it seemed like Timbersled shuts down, now that customer or that athlete or ambassador now is looking at their options, and it's probably like, okay, am I gonna switch to Yeti, or am I gonna switch to probably Mountaintop, right? Right?
Yeah.
Do you guys have any gauge on like, okay, pre-announcement of Timbersled shutting down to like within weeks after? Did your like ambassador pool just like, were you guys getting like submissions like crazy? Like, did that just blow up? Or like,
it basically happened like that minute.
because it was like all
The phone was ringing.
you can see it on Instagram. It was like,
Yeah.
the one. Like everyone was just like,
it basically happened right there, like from sitting on the couch. Is like, oh, well, who should we, like, who do we want to get, and who's going to come to us, and what's going to happen, and we at that time we didn't have a big budget. We were not sure what we're going to sell. Based on the last couple of years, we didn't have much budget for a bunch more ambassadors. Having Brock is pretty high level and stuff like that. So. We had to play that, kind of just let it play out and see who wanted to come first of all, and then kind of judge who we could take on, and how much we could do for all of them and stuff. So if they help us grow it to where we think we can get in the next couple of years, then there'll be room for some more, and we'll be grateful to the ones we got and working with them. But riding with them at the industry days and meeting kind of everybody there was really good, and getting to know them and stuff. And it's been great.
All right, guys and gals, Trail is one of our newest program supporters here at the Sledder Cast podcast. You can find them at trail.com. They are coming in hot with all the goodies, all the backcountry essentials. A few of our favorite must-haves are the Grizzly folding saw with razor sharp teeth that plow through those pesky branches with ease. Also the lightweight ski pole strap, a real back saver when your buddy needs that 7th pull of the day. And of course, the Trail Hot Pot exhaust cooker, because hot meals are way better than cold meals in the backcountry. So head on over to trail.com, that's TREYL.com, grab your exclusive Sleddercast promo code in the description below. Let's get back to the show. We're pretty close to wrapping this up, but there was a question I had way back, and I didn't want to forget it. And I hop on a snow bike once or twice a year, mostly a snowmobiler. And a weight on a snowmobile is obviously a really big deal, right? Like, you're always trying to cut weight. When you compare the kits out there, Yeti to Timbersled to Mountaintop, where does that Yeti system come in at?
Yeah, it definitely comes in at the lightest. Not exactly sure how much lighter. Every once in a while we kind of figure it out and stuff, but definitely the lightest. And it's gonna get lighter.
Gonna get lighter.
Ooh.
What do you got to tell?
We got lighter this year. We were going to one shock, say just like about 4 pounds or something there. Our chassis this year coming out is about another pound lighter, and then it's about 30% stronger as well. We do all sorts of crazy testing. We blew some up with dynamite this year just for fun. Just to see what would happen.
Are you going to post some of those videos?
We actually posted
you did?
that.
Okay, I need to go check that out.
I got to find that. I can just remember Brock taking like a sledgehammer to it. I just kind of like.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we destructive. We've built this whole big jig that we hook them up, big hydraulic ram, and we bust them. We know exactly where they break, and we can test any other models and stuff, and just kind of know where we're at. So that's really good. And it's going to get lighter. There's little tweaks we can make here and there, a little bit more titanium, kind of a little bit more carbon fiber in parts. So we're always we want to be the lightest, strongest, most reliable, and then try to just be the best in every category that we can.
Yeah.
So those are good categories. Good
you
marks
would
to
probably
hit.
add wheelie timeness, right? How much wheelie time?
Of course.
Right?
How much
Add
wheelie
that
time
back.
does the one
I'll
bring?
let someone else figure that
Okay.
out.
Brock, I'll ask Brock.
I'm the worst guy at wheeling, and I don't even like the wheelie, but it's getting better. I started doing some bow ties last year and had some fun with that. But
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys you released the one for this season, right?
correct, yeah.
So now it's
Snow
available at your dealers. You can
bet.
go set that sucker up and have the best Snowbike kit on the market. What are you going to do for next year?
Well,
Any big plans?
Number 3, no. There's going to be more ones.
More ones.
Yeah, more
okay,
ones.
just
More-
another rendition
more
of it
of
of
the-
making it better.
Yeah, more of the first in the industry kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And we'll keep doing that, and
Sweet.
yeah, eventually, the platform's been around for 13 years almost now, right? So it's time pretty soon in the future for kind of to revamp the whole platform.
Like a chassis platform
Yeah.
revamp. So
So stay tuned because
selfishly, we have the Yeti template, for graphics. We do kits for a handful of Yeti athletes.
Yep.
Does the one change at all as far as panels on that thing?
No, it's still the same.
It's still all the same,
it's
right?
really
Okay.
been the same kit since 2016.
Because we've had some people ask, and I
Yeah.
thought, I'm pretty sure it's the same.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's basically all the panels are the same. There's some minor nuances, some radiuses and stuff like that. But
Okay.
yeah, your graphic kits are going to fit all the way back to 16.
Love it. I love
And
it.
that's
for,
cool.
for another
For
year.
another how long?
Oh, another few years anyway.
Stay tuned. You're going to have to stay tuned.
Sometime in
All
the
right.
future.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Anytime between now and then.
Now,
Yeah, and we'll be able to easily just share flat patterns with you for the next one.
oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'll help us out. Yeah.
Inside line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
You betcha.
Kevin, I appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks
you
for
guys are
having
over
me.
here
This
in the
is-
shade, so
yeah.
you guys are welcome. Okay, I've
Thank
been
you.
cooking over here.
Yeah.
You got to get a little tan on those guns.
I know, right? Been cooking, but it's busy today. It's a busy day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
And-
looking good actually for Sunday. It's looking busier, and it's been other past year Sundays. So
for sure.
yeah.
So appreciate you jumping on, Kevin, and getting to
Thank you guys
getting
so
to learn
much.
more about the Yeti history and story, and just appreciate being very responsive and doing a great podcast for us. So
awesome. I enjoyed it.
thank you, everyone. We'll see you on the next Sledder Cast episode.
All right.
Thanks, Devin, for holding that up too.
That was an epic soundbite.
I know, right?
Right at the end.